race and ethnicity and all other types of oppressed identities are important to consider, and really those things are, if you notice, most of us are people of color, and we're very aware of what it means to be a person of color in this society or a woman in this society. I believe that the solution for that is a class-based revolution that will make everyone equal, and that will have to be a part of it. It's raising people's consciousness about racism, about gender inequality, and about homophobia, among other types of oppression. However, a lot of those things have been created in this country, especially to divide us, to make black people think we have totally different interests than poor whites. That's ridiculous. Poor blacks and poor whites and poor Latinos and poor Asians, poor gay people and poor women have the same interests. We have differences. Some of us are more oppressed than others, but ultimately a revolution, a communist revolution, and an equal society will benefit all of us. We haven't had the chance until now where the technology is actually able to meet up with the needs of a totally abundant society. It's only been recently that we actually can produce abundance. Even when the revolution happened in Russia, for example, or Cuba, those were very underdeveloped countries. They had to develop over time. I mean, underdeveloped in terms of the technology and the science and how much they could produce. We're not there anymore. Now is a time that we really have an opportunity to really be able to have a revolution and a communist society where everyone's needs are met because of the technology.
Anyone else want to answer?
Yeah, I would say that I don't think we actually need a specific left-leaning ideology to be against the mass incarceration, the control of resources, or the military-industrial complex here in the heart of Rome. I think we all agree we're against those, and we want to abolish the prison-industrial complex, free all political prisoners. I would say that, this whole panel is called, Another World is Possible, and we talk about education a lot. I think we need to actually define what we mean by education. To me, I think direct action is a huge component to educating people to another world is possible. Resistance is possible. So I think we don't almost need to go down the nuanced layers of which ism you're going to follow to raise awareness on those issues you're talking about. We do need things that will forcibly throw a wrench in those gears, and we don't need to have a specific ideology to do that right now. So.
I have to represent the socialists.
Speak up.
Mike Jack!
Mike Jack!
I agree with everything that's been said so far. Michael, every time I go ahead and yell about those assholes, I am trying to articulate that they have gone ahead and are oppressing the majority of the population on this planet, not just the downtrodden in this country, but all over the goddamn place, okay? And I hope when I say assholes that anger about that oppression rings forth. In terms of the history of socialism and of other isms and the failures in those isms, I think also speaks to this gentleman's question. And my thinking is one of the things I don't disagree, I disagree with just the words. Somebody a few minutes ago was saying that we have to make sure that whoever's in power doesn't get entrenched there. I go beyond that. I don't want anybody in power, but I'm a socialist Marxist. The person who is coordinating things is seen as a servant of the rest of us. They are not in a position of power. I would even go so far as that we rotate those positions. So nobody gets in there too deeply. But yes, we have to go ahead and watch out for that stuff. And there's a place where I think the anarchists can help the socialists immensely. We need liaisons from the anarchists in the socialist community saying, hey, we love what you guys are doing, but we have concerns because this looks like it may be going towards power. We need your voice.
Okay. So we have a lot of questions, and we're going to close stacks for now. And I wanted to ask people, we started later, like about half an hour later than we were originally supposed to start. So we have another 15 minutes for our regular scheduling, but is it okay if we extend it to another half an hour? So I think that'll give us sufficient time to address the questions. Is everyone okay with that? Any concerns?
Temperature check.
And how will people feel if we've been having a 2-minute or question, answer, comment type of thing to the panel? If we reduce that to 1 minute,
They can't proceed. They can't.
no. You guys will keep your 2 minute, but the question would be 1 minute.
Or how about we keep the questions very brief, as short as possible.
Yeah.
And our answers.
And the answer, yes.
Okay. Next on staff is Arturo. Arturo?
My name is Arturo. I'm a SCIU shop steward with SCIU 99 in the education as a teacher's assistant. And what I would want to just address really quick,
Mic check.
first of all, is that the CCU, the strike was sold out by the leader of bureaucracy because they weren't really trying to fight with the unions, with the rank and filers. And so when I go to my rank and file union, I usually have to fight off the union bureaucracy from actually talking about real politics. Instead, we're talking about we should all focus on Prop 30 and 32 and 30, which is, I'm not saying I'm dismissing it, but that is not the end fight. So what I want to ask the question, especially those who are part of unions at the panel, to answer these questions, because they're important for us to understand what it means to organize as rank and file unions and how we're going to organize against the leader bureaucracy, because those leader bureaucracies are working with the Democrats, which is why they're always pushing for vote for Obama for FGA. Guess what? That was gone before, his first 100 days. So what I'm asking is, what will you do to organize the rank and file union members in order to fight against the leader bureaucracy?
Good question.
Does anyone want to start? Do you have a specific person you wanted to address this
I know a
question
few
to,
people up there are part of unions, and I would like for you all to actually talk up, because I know you're a teacher and so are you, right? Yeah, and specifically like UTLA or from the Cal State LA, Cal State systems. And I don't know if any of y'all had experience with something like that.
So you want to just address the union members?
Sure, those who can answer it.
Okay. Do you want to start?
Sure. Well, just real quick, I am a UTLA member, and we voted. The rank and file teachers voted to strike about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, and we were ready to go. And the union leadership basically called the strike off because they were threatened that if the strike went on, that first 2 things would happen: that teachers would lose our license, and that we will be fined $1,000. And they said, okay, well, but then I would have liked to have seen 40,000 teachers on strike, and then have the ruling class here in the city take our licenses and try and fine us $1,000, see what kind of fight they would have had in their hand. But once again, I think unions are part of the capitalist problem. And I understand that the rank and file membership have a different outlook. But as a communist, I want to say that the fight that we do in the unions, wherever union we go to or where we are, and fights break up around wages, around benefits, around whatever kind of issue that we're fighting, is that we somehow have to make the connection that, look, under communism, all this shit is not going to be happening. In a more eloquent way, of course. And so that's my quick, and that we have to somehow, in these struggles, engage in dialogue and conversation with these workers of a different world as possible, and these reform struggles are getting in the way.
Next on, Kimberly, 2 minutes.
So I'm with the California Faculty Association. It's a union representing the professors throughout the system of California State University. I'm an officer in my local union at Cal State Los Angeles, and I want to pass around, not all unions are the same, okay? This is, if you guys want a sticker, these are stickers produced by my union. It says take class action. Okay, now a lot of people have been using these throughout Occupy. Maybe they didn't know it was by a union, but it was. It was paid for with workers' money. Unions are, yes, I agree that unions are totally capitulating to the Democrats right now, and it's fucking ridiculous. However, unions are the only organization, the most powerful organization representing workers, or that have the potential to represent workers. We need to do a better job at educating the workers, and then the workers will do what they need to push the leaders of the unions. In the CTU, I don't know what you're referring to, Arturo, but the Chicago Teachers Union, they were a group called the CORE, the Caucus of Rank and File Educators. They organized them outside. They did study groups and everything for years. They worked with parents. They took over their union. That's why they went on strike. They were the left wing of the union, and they were organized. And they worked closely with parents. UTLA has a problem of not necessarily working, and it's not Raul, it's the union not understanding. They're there to serve the students. The students have parents who can support them or not. The reason we have a massive charter school movement is because teachers have not, including the teachers union, have not enough worked with parents. And so the answer is that yes, unions are sometimes playing a reactionary position, especially by standing in the way and trying to get our members to support Democrats. But really, unions have a huge potential, and so let's go push.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I know we want to directly respond to the questions, but we have a lot of questions, a lot of people on stack, so we can continue this discussion after this if we want to. So.